Hi friends, welcome to Neo IAS Daily Current Affairs session. Today, the 18th of November, we have these topics for discussion. So we'll see the topics. They are Growth India, EPEC Summit, Bacteriophage, Tissue Chips in Space, IIFCL, Nirbhaya Front, and our daily sessions of MAP aided program and PQRS. So we'll see the topics one by one. For that, we have Growth India. The 0.7 meter Growth India telescope has made its first science observation, which is a follow-up study of a nova explosion. So what is a nova explosion? We will see. Novae are explosive events involving violent eruptions on the surface of white dwarf stars. Yesterday we discussed red dwarfs. Today we have white dwarfs. So what is a white dwarf? We are going to see. White dwarfs, they are thought to be the final evolutionary state of stars whose mass is not high enough to become a neutron star. A white dwarf is very hot when it forms, but because it has no source of energy, it will gradually radiate its energy and cool. So here we are discussing nova explosion. How is it different from a supernova? We are going to see that. Actually, novae leads to temporary increase in brightness of the star. But unlike a supernova, the star does not go on to die but returns to its earlier state after the explosion. And a supernova is an event that occurs upon the death of certain types of stars. It occurs when a large star burns through its own fuel, causing a catastrophic collapse, ending in an explosion of galactic proportions. And they are more energetic than novae. And we are mentioning all these details for the main news of the day, that is Growth India. And Growth India facility is a part of a multi-country collaborative initiative. And as you can see here, GROWTH stands for Global Relay of Observatories Watching Transients Happen. So that is growth, and it is to observe transient events in the universe. And an important point to be noted is that it is the country's first robotic telescope and the first one designed to observe dynamic or transient events in the universe. Now, regarding the location, the telescope is located at the Indian Astronomical Observatory or IAO at Hanle in Ladakh. And this is a joint project of the Bangalore-based Indian Institute of Astrophysics and the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. Now, the other large facilities at IAO in Hanle includes the Himalayan Chandra Telescope, the Gamma Ray Array Telescope, and the Imaging Cherenkov Telescope. So that's all regarding the topic. Now we'll move on to our next topic, that is EPEC Summit. The EPEC Summit 2018 was held in Papua New Guinea. The EPEC is a regional economic forum to leverage the growing interdependence of the Asia Pacific. And it was established in 1989. It has 21 members and it is headquartered in Singapore. Actually, EPEC means Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. Also, the EPEC is recognized as the oldest forum and highest level multilateral bloc in the Asia Pacific region. And India is not a member of EPEC. India has requested for membership in EPEC, but the officials have decided not to allow India to join for various reasons, considering that India does not border the Pacific Ocean, which all current members do. So, we'll move on to our next topic of the day, that is bacteriophage. So, what is a bacteriophage? A bacteriophage is a type of virus that infects bacteria. And the word bacteriophage literally means bacteria eater because bacteriophages destroy their host cells. And a bacteriophage attaches itself to a susceptible bacterium and infects the host cell. And following this infection, the bacteriophage hijacks the bacterium's cellular machinery to prevent it from producing bacterial components and instead forces the cell to produce viral components. And eventually what happens is that a new bacteriophage assembles and bursts out of the bacterium in a process called as lysis. Also, bacteriophages occasionally remove a portion of their host cell's bacterial DNA during the infection process, which I mentioned earlier, and then they transfer this DNA into the genome of new host cells, and this process is known as transduction. So that's all about bacteriophages. Now we'll have an important topic, that is tissue chips in space. The tissue chips in space, it is an initiative of the NASA which seeks to better understand the role of microgravity on human health. So what is microgravity and what is the project about? We'll see the details. Microgravity is a condition in which people or objects, they appear to be weightless. That means it is sometimes erroneously called as zero gravity because this is a condition where gravity seems to be very small. Also, microgravity affects the human body in several ways, such as muscles and bones can become weaker without gravity, and the study of microgravity is essential for manned space missions and other future interstellar flights. Also, it can be found or created on Earth. How can we create microgravity on Earth? I can give examples like airplane flying up and down parabolas. It makes passengers experience microgravity for short periods of time. Also, a person can experience free fall very briefly on roller coasters. So, all these are examples of creating microgravity on Earth. Now, regarding the project, that is tissue chips in space, NASA is planning to send tissue chips or organs on chips to the International Space Station to test how they respond to stress, drugs and genetic changes. And regarding the tissue chips, they are small devices containing human cells in a 3D matrix, and these devices are designed as accurate models of the structure and function of human organs such as the lungs, liver and the heart. Also, tissue chips are made of flexible plastic and they have ports and channels to provide nutrients and oxygen to the cells inside them. So that's all regarding the project of NASA. Now we will move on to our next topic, that is IIFCL. IIFCL is actually India Infrastructure Finance Company Limited. So why is it in news? The Union government has signed a $300 million loan agreement with the Asian Development Bank to support lending by this IIFCL or the India Infrastructure Finance Company Limited. And this will expand the portfolio of infrastructure financing instruments which are available to the IIFCL, and it is expected to complement the government's infrastructure building efforts. Now we will see more details about the IIFCL. It was set up in 2006 to provide long-term debt for infrastructure projects, and it provides financial assistance to commercially viable projects. And this commercially viable projects includes projects implemented by public sector company, private sector company or private sector company selected under PPP initiative, that is Public-Private Partnership Initiative. So it provides funding to all these kinds of projects. Then IIFCL raises funds from domestic as well as external markets on strength of government guarantees. And now, which are the sectors eligible for financing from IIFCL? As you can see here, the sectors are power, warehouses, then gas pipelines, cold storage chains, fertilizer manufacturing industry, infrastructure projects in special economic zones, and others like international convention centers and other tourism infrastructure projects, roads and bridges, seaports, railways, airports, inland waterways, and other transportation projects, then urban transport, water supply, sewage, solid waste management, and other physical infrastructure in urban areas. All these could be funded from this. So that's all about the topic. Now we have Nirbhaya Fund. So why is it in news? The Union government has approved 3 proposals under Nirbhaya Fund, including setting up of 1023 fast-track special courts. So what are the 3 proposals? They are, first as I mentioned, setting up of 1023 fast-track special courts. Then second is the procurement of forensic kits for sexual assault cases. Then third is the setting up of video surveillance system at 50 railway stations. Then we will see more about the Nirbhaya Fund. The fund is created by the Ministry of Finance in 2013 with a corpus of 1000 crores. And it is dedicated for implementation of initiatives aimed at enhancing the safety and security of women in the country. Also, it is a non-lapsable corpus fund and it is being monitored by an empowered committee of officers under the Secretary of Women and Child Development Ministry. And also, it is an interministerial committee, appraises and recommends various projects or schemes proposed by different ministries to be funded from the Nirbhaya Fund. Now we will see some news capsules of the day. India's first specialized hospital for elephants was formally opened in the Mathura district of Uttar Pradesh, and it is promoted by the Wildlife SOS. And this has established first elephant conservation and care center in 2010. Now, regarding the Wildlife SOS, it is a conservation non-profit organization and it was established in 1995 with primary objective of rescuing and rehabilitating wildlife in distress in the country and preserving India's natural heritage. Also, it is currently one of the largest wildlife organizations in South Asia. Now, we will see some places which frequently appear in news today. So, for that, we have Malibu. It is in news because the President of US visited the wildfire-affected Malibu area of South California, and this is a beach city in Los Angeles, California. Now, for the second topic, we have Gaza. We are seeing Gaza regularly in news. The Gaza Strip is witnessing another war situation with both Israel and Hamas attacking each other. And about Gaza, it is a Palestinian territory in West Asia, separated from the West Bank by the Israeli territory. It lies in the eastern coast of the Mediterranean Sea and it borders Egypt to its southwest and Israel to its north and east. I have shown the map here. You can refer the map for the details. The map of Gaza is shown. So, then we'll discuss some more details about the topic, which are the other sources of conflict in Israel. So, as you can see here, they are the West Bank. It is a territory claimed by the state of Palestine and it is sandwiched between Israel and Jordan. Then next is East Jerusalem, which includes the Old Walled City, which houses important Jewish, Muslim and Christian religious sites. Jerusalem is claimed by both Israel and Palestine as their capital city. Now, an important one is the Golan Heights. They are a rocky plateau in southwestern Syria. It is occupied by Israel in 1967 and it is of strategic importance to them. Now, the last one is the Sinai Peninsula. The Sinai Peninsula is the Egyptian territory occupied and later returned by Israel. It remains of relevance to the conflict as it is a safe haven for terrorists and a weapon smuggling route. Now, we can refer to a UPSC question asked in 2015. You can see the question here. The area known as the Golan Heights sometimes appears in news in the context of the events related to, you have four options. Option A, Central Asia. Option B is Middle East. Option C is Southeast Asia. And option D is Central Africa. We have already mentioned the Golan Heights. The Golan Heights borders Israel, Lebanon and Jordan. So, now you know the answer. That is B, Middle East. So, places in news are really important for UPSC and that's why we have a daily map aided program. Now, we are moving to our daily map aided program. For that, we have the Sola Tunnel. The Sola Tunnel is a 14.2 kilometer long road tunnel under the Sola Pass on the Himalayas. It is in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir and this is currently under construction. And this tunnel along with the 6.5 kilometer long Zedmo tunnel, which is 22 kilometer before the Sola Tunnel, and it will ensure a year-long, that means an all-weather road connectivity between Srinagar and Leh. And this currently remains closed for about 7 months due to heavy snowfall on the Sola Pass. And the Sola Tunnel project was approved by the Government of India in January 2018 and the commencement of its construction was inaugurated by the Prime Minister in May 2018. It actually takes more than 3 hours to cross the pass, but the tunnel will reduce the time to only 15 minutes. And more importantly, this tunnel was a strategic requirement of the army and the Ladakhi people, both of them, as the pass is close to LOC and vulnerable to hostile actions by terrorists. And also, the Sola was recaptured from Pakistani raiders under the Operation Bison. As I have mentioned already, the tunnel is under construction and the tunnel will be built under EPC mode. That means engineering, procurement and construction mode, wherein the Government of India will provide the money and the executing agency, they will do the construction and they will later hand over the project to the Government of India. Earlier, it was supposed to be built under the PPP mode, that is the public-private partnership mode, where the private player was supposed to make the investment and later they can recover their money via toll tax, but this was later cancelled. So, that's all regarding the Sola Tunnel. Now, we will move on to our daily session of PQRS. For that, we have the question here. Biomass gasification is considered to be one of the sustainable solutions to the power crisis in India. In this context, which of the following statements are correct? You have three statements here. I'll read the statements one by one. First is, coconut shells, groundnut shells and rice husk can be used in biomass gasification. Then, the combustible gases generated from biomass gasification, it consists of hydrogen and carbon dioxide only. Then the third statement is, the combustible gases generated from biomass gasification, it can be used for direct heat generation but not in internal combustion engines. And you can select the correct answer using the codes given below. 1 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3. So, the question is about biomass gasification. What is biomass gasification? Biomass gasification means incomplete combustion of biomass resulting in production of combustible gases consisting of carbon monoxide, hydrogen and even traces of methane. And this mixture is called a producer gas. So, that means statement 2 is incorrect. Now, biomass fuels such as wood, charcoal, wood waste, etc. and also agricultural waste like coconut shells, rice husk, cereal straws, etc. it can be used as fuel for this. So, that makes statement 1 correct. Then we are left with statement 3. Also, this producer gas can be used to run internal combustion engines and they can even be used as a substitute for furnace oil in direct heat applications. It can even be used in a more economically viable way as methanol, which is useful both as a fuel for heat engines as well as chemical feedstock for industries. That means the statement 3 is also wrong. So the answer is A, 1 only. Also, if we apply logic to the third statement, it doesn't sound to be logically correct. So if we are able to strike out the third statement, we can eliminate options B, C and D because all of them has 3. So then we will arrive at the answer. That's all for today. Thank you so much for listening.